Yo, what's up, guys? This is the Wrong But Right podcast coming at you with a Raw recap from Monday, September 28th, live from Buffalo, New York. So, the Raw starts off with Cena coming down the ring to resume his U.S. Open Challenge.
Hang on, let me cut you off for a second. Let me just say, is anybody else sick of John Cena opening segments when his music hits?
Yeah, honestly, I had this similar reaction, and I was kind of tuning out until the New Day came in. That's when I was really into it because they are just so awesome. Xavier Woods coming in and taking that US Open Challenge, I thought that was amazing because it really showed he's actually has real skills. He took John Cena to the quote-unquote limit, which I thought was really interesting. What do you think about that? Xavier Woods taking the US Open Challenge.
Xavier Woods definitely saved this segment because it was a super long segment. But what I was saying before, I'm sick of John Cena rolling around like he's the champ. He's the U.S. champ, but he rolls around like he's the heavyweight champion, talking about how the champ is here. He doesn't address himself as the United States champion. And the whole U.S. champion thing is getting a little stale because he's fought everybody and beat everybody naturally, right? Because he's John Cena.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. The WWE just loves John Cena a little bit too much because his matches are always basically the same. You know he's most likely going to win unless the other guy has outside help or he cheats or something like that. He never loses clean, except for that one time with Brock Lesnar, and everyone knows that was one of the best pay-per-views. But basically what happens is he has Xavier Woods into the STF. He's going to tap, but then the rest of the New Day comes and kind of just, beats John Cena up. And then the Dudley Boys come in the impromptu match to have a six-man tag begins. What do you think about that?
That was a pretty good six-man match. Because it was a clever way to get the New Day more over by getting them the W at the end of the match. It's pretty good. But then it just feels weird that you have to use John Cena in the start. Although Xavier Woods did have a good individual match, he was pretty impressive. And I love his banter in between, when he's outside on the ropes.
Oh, with the trombone and stuff?
With the trombone. No. And even this time, he's I should have been U.S. champion.
Oh, yeah.
It should be me.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And Big E is still great. You know my position on Big E. After his big transformation, he gets the crowd going.
He does. He's really talented. The one thing I took away from this match is them winning at the end shows that they're all in sync. They're after the same prize, They're actually working together properly. That's why they could win. The Dudley Boys and John Cena, it shows that they're not together, and that's what tag team champions are all about. You have to be able to work together and get the win. I like that. It showed that they're really talented as a group, but also Xavier Woods is really talented by himself. So that's what I thought was really good about the segment.
That's true, but what do you think the future for Xavier Woods is? Because as you said, it's a tag team. They're a trio.
Okay. I think Xavier Woods is the really dynamic. I think if the New Day ends up becoming stale, he can go into another role and just fit into any situation, I think. So I think his are open, his situation. Kofi Kingston, not so much, but Big E definitely.
Well,
yeah.
Big E and Xavier Woods definitely keep the New Day going.
Oh, yeah.
More so than Kofi.
Kofi is just there. He's been there. He's a veteran. But what we need to do is, we're running out of time. Give this one a rating of 1 to 10, the opening segment.
1 to 10? I would have gave it a 7 if not for Xavier Woods. Just for Xavier Woods' performance alone, I'll bump it up to 7.5.
Okay, 7.5. That's good. For me, it started off just because I saw John Cena coming in. It started off as a 4 for me, and then it really went up. I'm actually going to give it an 8 here. Just because, 8. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 because I thought, compared to the usual Raws, I think this one was nice because it just showed a nice progression with their talent. I just thought it was great. So then after that segment, what happened was it cut to Kane and that human resource lady, Ashley, backstage.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about that later, in whole, because there was a 3-part segment. So we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So after that, it's Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the locker room, and they're talking about how they're going to end this whole thing with Bray Wyatt. How Roman Reigns started it, he's going to end it. And then Randy Orton comes in and says, he's kind of wants
help out.
Yeah, he'll help out. He's an outsider or whatever.
Yeah, I like the Dean segment. It kind of foreshadows that he's getting sick, so maybe he'll change his character up because the Dean character is getting a little bit stale. But for this segment, I was kind of skeptical at first because they kind of say this every week how they're gonna end this. It's gonna be over, but
it never truly ends.
It never truly ends. But this week I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit also because the main event is actually Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But so immediately after this, it goes to Big Show versus Mark Henry. This was interesting. Big Show beat him pretty cleanly. Obviously, they're
making him look super powerful just so somebody can stand up against Brock Lesnar in the WWE exclusive
like Madison Square Garden thing.
Yeah, what do you think about that pay-per-view though? I have zero interest in it. They right after SummerSlam, right after the other pay-per-views, they kind of just slipped it in there. I wasn't even sure until last week. I was seeing the promos and I was like, what's going on? What do you mean promo tour?
The thing is, like, honestly, I kind of like the fact that they're making Big Show like strong and like look good, but honestly, I think everybody knows that the Big Show is gonna lose. So I feel like they're just doing this in vain because Brock Lesnar is facing the Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. There's no way they're gonna make Big Show beat him unless it's by disqualification or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't like this pay-per-view because neither Undertaker or Brock Lesnar is here promoting their stuff. So why should we care?
That's true.
It's like Paul Heyman can do as much as he can, right? But
okay, well, we gotta carry on. We don't have much time, but we'll talk about that later because there's another segment with Paul Heyman. But yeah, so summary: Big Show beats Mark Henry clean, which is okay,
And that was the first hour of the show, right?
That was the first hour of the show. After that concludes, the second hour opens up with the Miz TV, and he's hosting Becky Lynch and Charlotte. I thought this was really interesting. I love Miz. What do you think about this kind of segment here? It blows up into a 6-man tag match with Paige, PCB basically versus the Bellas.
It's pretty good. Like you can see the Divas are really working on their mic skills. They're really improving. However, this whole Divas Revolution thing, in the whole segment, they must have said the word Divas Revolution like 30, 40 times. Like,
oh, man. I actually never thought about that. They literally did say that.
They're like 30, 40 times. Like, they really need us to know that there's a Diva Revolution. So that's the one thing I have against it. But overall, the mic work was pretty good. Then they went into the match, a pretty good match. Then it had a pretty good, interesting ending, Slowly, there's the heel Paige slowly rising.
The Paige is just really it's just amazing to watch her. She's the most talented right now. But I thought it was really good how the match ended with Nikki Bella doing her special move, the rack attack on Charlotte. Because she hasn't done her special move. Like, honestly, it's been weeks, and it really shows that she's not that dominant. She's basically the Divas, like, total Divas star.
That's true. Well, there's one more thing I wanted to bring about the Divas division, though. What do you think about the belt, the Divas belt right now? Because it looks completely not what they were trying to go for the Divas Revolution. You know how it's supposed to be a legitimate division? Then you look at the belt. It has butterflies. It's
all like girly and stuff.
It doesn't look legitimate.
Yeah.
So would you be in favor of them retiring the belt and bringing on a actual women's division championship instead of the Divas championship?
Like, honestly, I do think that is the way to go because NXT is like that, and NXT is just thriving. I think the Divas Revolution or the Divas division in general needs to have a whole revamp, and that's a good way to do it. It'll show like real athleticism.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go one step further though. They should add a Divas Tag Championship because you know how they keep doing 6-man tags.
Yeah.
You might as well put a tag championship, and this would really push what they want, the Divas Revolution. It'll seem more legitimate. But it'll be a championship race and a tag team race. But the problem is they don't have enough talent right now.
Yeah, and another thing is, like, honestly, like they would have to use so much time to like on the Divas division. Yeah, that's Raw is 3 hours long, but like it's already long enough that they have to do 2 matches for the Divas division. Usually they only do 1. If they have to do like a third or I don't know. I just feel like it would be too much for now.
That's true for now. Because the only thing is a lot of talent in the Divas division. They really have to take a backseat because there's only one champion, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to quickly just... Actually, we need to say our rating on this one. This is a big scene. Yeah, well, what's your rating out of 10 here?
I'll give it a 7.5, 8.
7.5, 8? Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to have to give this one... I'll say like a 6.5.
Even after the whole Paige heel turn thing, it's still 6.5.
Yeah, I like because last week's Raw I thought that was much better because she really like
it was more surprising, right?
To me it was confusing actually why she was even teaming up with them in the first place. Like it didn't make any sense to me.
That's the lack of talent thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's the PCB versus Team Bella.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Okay, well, the next part that happens during the Raw is the Kane severed head like segment. But we're gonna skip that. We're gonna talk all about that at once, like we said earlier. So after that, it's the Wyatts versus the primetime players. We'll just go through this really quick. It's not that big of a deal.
Just a quick match, just to show how powerful the Wyatts are.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting because they're making the primetime players look really weak. They were at the top. They won the championships, the tag team championships, but now they're
I think it's more so to make the Wyatts look more powerful.
Yeah.
X tag team championships. They get rid of them with ease.
Because if they versed like those Los Matadoras or something,
it's not that like Bo Dallas and another random person. It's like
it's not that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, we'll just go to the next one here. Wade Barrett returns in the match, Neville versus Stardust, and then he ends up taking both of them out. I thought that was kind of cool.
I guess it's gonna be like a 3-way feud. I guess I kind of like the whole superhero versus villain thing.
I like that too, but they've been doing it for the last like so many months in a row.
Yeah, but there's no closure. They just one person beats the one person wins one week, the other person wins another week. Now Wade Barrett comes, but we'll see what they do with the feud. Yeah. Maybe it'll be better.
I think they're gonna make Wade Barrett a good guy. Like I just think he's gonna be one of those guys who's reckless, but the crowd loves him.
But his character right now is King Barrett, right? It's hard to be a good guy while you refer to yourself as King.
And I love how they made the King the like British guy. It just makes too much sense. I just love that.
Those subtle things.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing here, this is the big one. The full Seth Rollins and Kane segment. We'll do this entirely. So basically what happens at first, the beginning of Raw, they're in the backstage talking to that human resource lady, Ashley, about, they're going to make a review about him, that anonymous complaint or whatever. I thought that was really funny because Seth Rollins was saying, like, he came in, he's like, yeah, who is doing this anonymous complaint? I can't believe that.
He's like, who would be that spineless to not face their problems like a man?
That was really funny.
That was a hilarious segment. And I gotta say, Kane's character, how he changes from super evil and then he becomes super nice, it's pretty funny, but it kind of gets old pretty quick. So I hope they end this segment soon, where there's no more corporate Kane and Demon Kane just is here permanently.
He's really talented to change his acting and his personality just so immediately.
On the fly, right?
On the fly. That just shows how talented he is and how much of a veteran. Because he's been doing this for 2.5 decades or something.
But it's like an interesting approach because normally the authority would just, send goons and take somebody out. Mm-hmm. But this is a completely different approach. It's pretty interesting. They make it like a internal in-house kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And they need the HR go through the proper channels as if it's a legitimate business.
I love that. That's the good part about the authority. Okay, so next part that happens was the Kane severed head thing. Yeah. And then and then Ashley was saying, "Wow, that's so nice of you, considerate to go and dig it up or whatever."
I like how they make her super oblivious to when he has his little speeches. He's like, "Oh man, you'd be surprised what you can do with a shovel and a flashlight."
Oh yeah.
It's like, does not ring any bells? She's like, "Wow, what a great guy." It's kind of funny how they make her obviously oblivious.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. And then what happens is it concludes with Kane and Ashley in the middle of the ring, and she's giving her review about his whole the HR thing, right? But what happens is Seth Rollins comes in and interrupts, and they show those scenes,
the little promos, right? Those are cut really well.
Yeah, those are really interesting. And so it showed how Demon Kane is,
how evil he is, all
the devil's favorite demon or whatever. And then Seth Rollins, he showed one of Seth Rollins beating up and breaking, or not breaking his leg, but just, screwing him over a few times. And then Seth Rollins takes him out, uses the chair, injures his leg.
Yep.
He goes back, they put him in the ambulance, and then he, erupts as Demon Kane. He comes back.
Yeah, but a couple things didn't make sense from the end of this segment, though. Because you know how Seth's character, all he does is run. When he saw him coming out as the demon from the ambulance, why didn't he just leave the ring?
Yeah, that's true.
And another thing is they didn't even address what happened last week. He got pulled under the thing. He comes back. He has no damage on him. He's completely fine. Yeah. It's how did he escape? We don't even know.
They kind of referenced it a tiny bit in SmackDown, but not really to the point that you're getting at. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's nobody, none of the commentary, they didn't even explain it. They showed it what happened last week on Raw. Because it was crazy. He got pulled under the thing.
But no one even refers to it. Yeah.
Nobody refers to it. He has no damage. Yeah. It's how did he get out? What happened when he's under there?
Mm-hmm. But to your previous point of how you were saying in the ring he didn't run away, it's because he injured his leg already. He thought he was at the advantage. He has the chair in his hand. He injured his leg, so he aimed it when Kane was entering the ring, but it like didn't phase him or whatever. Which I thought was kind of funny.
He did the stomp thing and walked it off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like the demon thing.
That's true. Yeah, you know, like, so basically, I hope he's Demon Kane now for good, because he was eyeing down that World Heavyweight Championship at the end.
So you think that's the next feud he's going to go for?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be the next championship match is gonna be Seth Rollins versus Kane, and I don't think Kane's gonna win, but we'll save that prediction.
So what's in store for the top tier guys? John Cena, Brock Lesnar, because those guys are always in the heavyweight championship.
I think it's gonna be John Cena defending his U.S. title against someone else for like for like a pay-per-view or two or whatever, and then it's gonna be Seth Rollins versus Kane, and maybe just 1 or 2 pay-per-views they go at it, and Seth ultimately retains, and then Kane, like, I don't know, they do something else with him, but I don't think he's gonna win the championship.
So that probably means Brock isn't coming for a little while, right? After his little tour here, he's gonna take a little break. Obviously, Undertaker's not gonna be a regular.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna.
So a lot of things are up in the air.
Yeah, a lot of things are up in the air. So with this segment though, what are you gonna give it out of 10 here?
Out of 10, it was entertaining, but it didn't make much sense. Mm-hmm. I'll give it 6.5.
6.5, okay. I'm gonna give this one an 8.
An 8?
I thought this segment was amazing because it started off from the beginning all the way through it, and Kane's acting, it was amazing. The really thing that I liked about it was Seth Rollins, because he's my favorite guy right now. I almost felt disgusted because he was just so like evil, you know. He was hurting Kane, he's beating him up at the end. It got to a point where I was like, man, like, this is the guy I like. Like, wow, he's actually sick and twisted.
Yeah.
But like, you know, karma comes in at the end, and then he got owned by Kane after he became Demon Kane. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, but Seth's in-ring reactions are some of the best right now. When he hits him with a chair and he does no damage, his facial expressions, you know, it really says a lot. Like, his acting is great. That's why he's on top right now.
Oh yeah, I'll give him an 8, or that whole segment an 8 for the whole
strictly because of Seth, or Kane
no.
Kane.
I thought it was just greatly put together. Even Stephanie McMahon, like in the back of the beginning segment, I just thought everything was put together in a really nice way there. So I'll give that one an 8. We're actually running out of time. We got to keep going here. The next one, which is the last hour of Raw, Kevin Owens versus Rusev. Basically what happens, they're in the match, and then Ryback's on commentary. They end up going after Ryback, and they both team up on him. And then Dolph Ziggler comes in, and then it ends up being like, you know, those two at the bottom of the ring, while the other ones are in the middle. What do you think about this?
Well, I'm glad that everybody's in the IC race who's like Rusev and Dolph Ziggler. They're putting away the whole love feud thing, because I hated that segment, the whole love triangle, what's going on. I'd rather them go for a title. And I really want Kevin Owens to spearhead this division to really get it respectable. Because Ryback was doing pretty well as a champion, but he didn't really push the division to make it interesting. Kevin Owens, his character is great. He's really going to push the division further, I feel.
Yeah.
Because you're not too sure what he's going to do. Every week is a little bit different. He's a great villain. I think he's great for the IC division, but I think his talent-wise, he's better than the IC division. But, I mean, it's up to the creative writers, and he's taking one for the WWE universe.
That's true. I think the last thing I want to happen with this is it ends up being Dolph Ziggler and Ryback versus Kevin Owens and Rusev in a tag team match that means nothing in the next pay-per-view. And I really, really feel like it's leaning towards that. Like, because of the way the match ended, and the two of them were standing with each other, I just hope the next pay-per-view is not 2-on-2. So that's what my thoughts on this one. Overall, like, I thought it was kind of cool how they were teaming up on each other, but I thought Rusev, because he helped take out Ryback, that Kevin Owens was going to help him take out Dolph Ziggler at that time. But
it would probably backfire on Kevin Owens if he did that, right? Then he'll have too many enemies.
Yeah, that's true.
Because his main focus right now is Ryback.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's just we'll carry on this. The next part was Paul Heyman coming out, and then he talks about the Brock Lesnar thing, promo, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Big Show comes.
That was a good segment, I guess. Well, it's good because every Paul Heyman segment is great, right? You gotta respect the guy's mic skills.
Yeah.
But like we were saying earlier, we have no interest in this match because there's no build-up.
That's true. The actual match, I don't think it's not gonna be that good.
Because we already know the result. he's not gonna lose, and he's probably gonna beat Big Show pretty clean to build him up as more of an animal, wrapping him up to really take out Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
That's true.
But I mean, Paul Heyman can really speak. This was like a 20-minute segment, but then I felt like a lot of people, they stopped tuning in, myself included, because we already know the result.
Yeah, I thought, okay, so Paul Heyman's speech, usually I feel like he's an amazing speaker, of course. Sometimes he'll like go off about the same thing over and over, but I have to admit the writing is amazing, because I watched his speech like in its entirety. The way he was saying how Big Show, you know, he's always like, it doesn't have any competition. That's why he kind of gets stagnant, like loses matches. It's like, and then he was referring to that kid who's in like grade 6 or whatever doing math, and he was saying how it's like a guy who's super good at math, but the curriculum is too easy for him, so he gets a C+. I thought that was amazing. Like, it actually put it into perspective. Like, in a way, it makes you kind of think Big Show has a chance, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I thought that was amazing writing, because it really like convinced you or made you entertained in that sense. I love that analogy.
Yeah, but I think it's important to know how Big Show is really holding his own on the mic. This Raw especially. Like, he really surprised me being the bad guy. He's been a heel for a while, but then his promos have been pretty good as of late.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially because he gets placed in random spots, he randomly loses, right? But now he has a bigger opponent. He's really stepping up to the challenge. Because back in the day, Big Show was a big deal, right? And
he was a big deal.
He's kind of been put aside to put people over, but I think, well, even though he's gonna lose, this is like, it makes him look less weak, like makes him look more respectable.
He's like Kane. They've both been there for so many years. They're just veterans. Like, when they're put in a certain situation, they know how to just, you know,
they're invaluable to the company.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll get to the next one here, which was actually the main event. Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. And this is the one they were talking about how they're going to end the whole like saga between the two. And it ends up becoming a brawl at the end that goes into the stands, and it finishes off with Roman Reigns spearing Bray Wyatt into the like table, the announce table, and then they both like are just, you know, out cold, and then the Raw ends.
Yeah, honestly, I like this match though. They don't do this enough, like the old days and the old Raws and SmackDowns, where there's a shocking end and then Raw just cuts out, because it's the whole reality era and everybody's too busy cutting promos. But what I didn't like was how they keep giving Roman Reigns an edge up. At the end, he gets a spear, so it makes him look good. Before the match, the Wyatt family is outside, and then he calls them out saying, like, how do you respect your leader? And then he makes the two guys leave. He's like, he always has to get a little head up because they're like really trying to build him, when Bray Wyatt's obviously the more talented of the two.
Yeah, you know what? I think, like, with what you're saying, I completely agree, to the point where, like, they always make him seem like he's crazy. You know, he's just like John Cena. Like, they win matches, they never get pinned unless someone cheats or interrupts. But and to your other point about how they don't do this enough, that's true. They have too many promos nowadays, so it's nice to see an all-out brawl like we saw. And I thought it ended, like, you know, beside the fact that, you know, Roman Reigns speared him and got like the one up on him, I thought it was a great ending, and it showed that like they'd go all out just to like beat each other up, how much they hate each other. And the fact that nobody interrupted, I just thought it was perfect. Obviously it's not over, their saga.
Yeah, but it was refreshing to see a straight up fight match kind of thing.
Yeah,
because it doesn't happen often too anymore. Because you remember back in the old Raw and SmackDown days, the main event would end with like 4 or 5 top tier guys doing their finishing moves on each other one after another. A guy comes backstage, is pandemonium, and then SmackDown just ends. It really makes you want to see what happens in the next one.
Yeah, that's true. Like, so honestly,
because of this main event, I want to tune into Raw a little bit more next week, just to see if it's actually over or which direction they're gonna go with it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. What will you give this segment out of 10 here? This match, basically.
This match, I'll give it 8.
An 8, yeah?
8 for the match, for the billing of how the match worked out.
And like the finale.
The finale, they go into the crowd, so you can see the fans are going crazy, to tell him to hit him, and then the setup was kind of like obvious though. They just leave the steel chair, and Bray Wyatt stands on the table for no reason. Yeah. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was really entertaining, really refreshing to see an all-out brawl like that. We're not used to seeing that anymore. Especially because if there is an all-out brawl, it'll be with some disqualification. Some guy comes in and interrupts, or they 2-on-1 them. It was really good to see a 1-on-1 at the end. I'm gonna give this finale. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I thought it was really good, but just the fact that they're making Roman Reigns look too powerful, because I love Bray Wyatt. That's what I'm gonna reduce it a little bit. Otherwise, I would have given it like a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Well, quickly to end off before we finish the Raw, what would you give the commentary team for the entire Raw? Because I feel like we didn't talk about them at all.
The commentary?
The commentary team.
Honestly, like I think the commentary is just so good right now. Like Michael Cole is so professional on the mic. It's just unbelievable. His commentary is amazing. And then the perfect heel, JBL, he's just always saying hilarious stuff. Like it's awesome to hear.
I kind of disagree with you though. I do think Michael Cole is good. He is the guy he's the commentator that everybody hates.
Mm-hmm.
But JBL is like, he needs to be more heel because he keeps flip flopping on his opinions. He'll be like, "Oh man, this is the champ. John Cena's great." Then when he starts losing, he'll be like, "Oh, the other guy's crazy. You don't even know about him. Xavier Woods, he's underrated." You see, you can't be that flip floppy. You should be more of a heel. If your position is that you don't like John Cena and you're all pro authority, you should stay like that. You shouldn't be like, "He's a great champion. He has, one U.S. title below Ric Flair. He's great." Then Xavier Woods, he gets him down. He's like, "All right, Xavier Woods is great. This guy's underrated. You didn't even know about him, Michael." It's like, I've been following this guy since day one.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I have against his commentary.
I kind of like it, to be honest. I like how he flips back and forth. You never know what you're going to get with JBL because he's so irrational. Just like, he'll say this, then all of a sudden he'll be like, "No, Kevin Owens, he won that clean. He didn't even rake his eyes. You guys are blind."
Or he'll be like, "He did what he had to do as a champion."
I love that. That's good.
He's more of a loose cannon.
Yeah,
but it's really to your preference, I suppose.
Okay, so that was the main event. Let's do a little review of the entire Raw. Let's give it a number because we've been doing ratings for the whole show.
Yeah.
Let's do one rating for the entire show.
For the entire show?
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
This is a pretty good Raw. I'd probably give it, I'd say 7 or 7.5 range. Only because there were some long segments making this Raw not feel too long. Because oftentimes Raw is 3 hours and you get bored in between.
There's some fillers.
There wasn't too many fillers. There's good segments. Yeah. And this Raw really progressed with the story.
Okay, yeah, it did. Okay, I see what you mean. I'm going to give this Raw an 8 because I thought it was much better than like the average, and I think WWE programming lately has just been really good. So I'm going to give this one an 8. But one more thing before we sign off here is, what was your big takeaway from it? Like, what was your most favorite thing about this Raw? Can be anything.
My biggest takeaway,
like your favorite thing that happened in the Raw. I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Probably what they're gonna do with the Kane segment is the most interesting.
Oh yeah.
There was sort of closure on the Reigns one, but no, I'm gonna go with the Kane segment.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was really entertaining. My big takeaway from this, or my favorite part, was actually what Paige said during the Miz TV part. She said, she was talking about the Bellas, and she says, "When you have 2 boyfriends like yours, who really needs ambition?" That's just like the highlight of the reality era. I just thought that was amazing, like how she said that. The crowd was so into it. They were all like, "Oh!" I thought that was a huge deal. Like, I love that, just because Paige is awesome. Then one thing, the last one here is, what did you hate from Raw?
What did I hate from Raw?
Yeah. Besides,
John Cena.
Okay,
John Cena's opening theme coming out saying the champ is here.
Even though he's not the world heavyweight champ. Yeah, that's what you were saying earlier. For me, honestly, the worst part about it, I'm gonna have to say, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton in the backstage with the Roman Reigns. I don't understand what's going on with them. Are they gonna have another 3-on-3 tag match or whatever, and just end this segment, or make Dean Ambrose a bad guy or something? I'm just sick of seeing that.
Okay, so if you had the power to change the outcome of one thing that happened in Raw, what would it be then?
I would actually go back to that one segment and make Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton maybe get pissed off at each other and be like, "No man, and then they have a little feud. Maybe the next pay-per-view it's Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Something like that, because they're both good guys right now.
Yeah.
The crowd will, be into both of them, but maybe Dean Ambrose will become a bad guy. Who knows? Maybe he'll join the The Wyatt family.
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. But, we'll save it for the next time because we're basically out of time for today, guys. That was our Raw review from September 28th, live from Buffalo, New York. Thanks for listening. This is the Wrong But Right podcast. I'm MFA. This is Head, my colleague, and we're signing off.
All right, catch you all next time.